Did either of you boys do Barbenheimer?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I assumed as much because I know what you're like as a man.
Okay, so the thing with Barbenheimer was, I went to go because I'm a movie buff. I go to the theater at least 2 to 4 times a week. And,
Yeah, this dude's pulling failure sets at movies. He takes pre-workout to see movies. This dude's making gains in movies.
Yeah.
When he says he's a movie buff, he means his body.
Protein powder on my popcorn. That's some buff corn.
Yeah.
And some nutritional yeast for depth.
X, please continue talking.
No, okay. So the summer of Barbenheimer, we were anticipating both these movies. The new Christopher Nolan movie, a Barbie movie with Margot Robbie and freaking Ryan Gosling. I was like, hell yeah. But we had to decide how we were going to do this. Now, do we watch the 3+ hour long movie about the atomic bomb first, or do we watch Barbie first? And we went with the longer one because I was like, I don't know, man. After sitting for 3 hours, I don't know if I want to keep doing it for another 2 hours. And that was the right move because Oppenheimer is depressing,
pretty
to
upsetting,
say the least. Yeah, and so we got a good palate cleanser after the
I haven't
fact.
seen it.
Although
Well, how's
this
it end?
movie,
anime.
it's Einstein.
Oh, what could be sad about Einstein?
It's a very sad-looking Einstein. I'll say that. Oppenheimer ends with a very good line about how like
There's a lot of good single lines in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, they're like trying to figure out the math to detonate a nuclear bomb, right? And Einstein gives them in the middle of the movie. He's like, "Well, there's a possibility that you could ignite the entire atmosphere and destroy the world." And the movie ends with Oppenheimer saying, like, you know, you said that we could possibly destroy the world if we set this off, and I think we have. Like we've set in motion a chain reaction to end humanity. And then you go into Barbie, and we get I'm Knuff, and that was a good way to end my day. Honestly.
Yeah, I think that's this. I didn't do Barbenheimer. I haven't seen either movie until the watch of Barbie for this very podcast.
Oh.
Now, did you also do Oppenheimer on top of that? Did you complete the experience? I'm guessing not because you said you haven't seen it. But...
Yeah, that's well spotted, X. Nothing gets past this guy.
Yeah, no. I should have made you do both. I should have made you experience the summer of 2023 the way that we all did. Now, Roger, you said you did as well? You did Barbenheimer?
I think I made a mistake. I was under the impression that Barbenheimer was just that you saw both of them.
No, Barbenheimer is seeing both of them back to back in a theater.
So then no, the answer is no.
Oh, you have betrayed me for the last time.
Oh, am I just not allowed to anymore?
Yeah.
Now you guys need to duel.
Yep. Show me a volcano.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the podcast where we watch a movie and dare to ask the question, so that's feminism? We are 3 unpaid interns who have been locked away in a basement somewhere in Hollywood and forced to churn out sequels to movies that nobody asked for. So grab some popcorn and a hard hat and a bucket of my tears and join us on the ground floor of Sequel Factory. I am Roger.
I'm a Jetty girl.
And
Okay.
I'm Alan.
I wish I knew we were doing bits. So we watched Barbie, the movie. Not any of the animated ones.
What if I watched
real
what if I watched like all of the Barbie Dreamhouse series?
Yeah.
Or like Barbie Princess and the Pauper. I think that's one of the animated ones.
Yeah.
There's a few. You could probably make some up.
Barbie Island Adventure. Let's Google it.
It probably exists. My partner watched several of those movies in preparation for Barbie, so...
There's all we have is Barbie as the Island Princess. Where she has, she's wearing a dress with male peacock feathers. Trans rep. Let's go, Barbie. Come on, Barbie.
You know what? We should
Let's go
have
party.
done one of these Barbie movies for a Christmas episode.
a lot of them are Christmas themed.
Yeah,
Barbie and a Christmas Carol.
What if
Barbie, A Perfect Christmas.
What if we all watched a Barbie movie together and took estrogen? That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, what if?
You fill in the blanks.
That's a fun hypothetical. Hey, listener, comment down below. What if?
What if?
So this is a pretty recent movie. It's rare for us to touch on movies that came out within the past 5 years.
Mhm.
And I'll go ahead and say this. When I was watching it today, I was not, and I said this in the chat, I was not emotionally prepared to rewatch this film. And it was probably minute 5 that I was like, oh shit. I was so heavily hit by the themes. And when we first started this show, it was shitty movies that didn't deserve sequels.
Yeah.
So the fact that I have to compromise my own emotions for comedy is hideous, I think, as far as entertainment goes.
Comedy is actually only supposed to come from a really fake and put on place that has no connection to who you are as a person. It's just a joke, bro. It doesn't mean anything.
It's called
about
a character.
Me. It doesn't mean anything about me or what I think. It's just a joke, bro.
I have very few layers. I like, simple things. I like jokes. I like
Roger's not an
explosions.
onion. He's
certainly not an ogre.
I'm very. I don't know if the audience is going to understand that, but the episode in which that reference is from came out today.
As we're recording.
This will be like 5 episodes later or something, so probably not.
Yeah, go watch the Princess Bride episode where Roger threatens my body without ever saying anything like that. Entirely tone.
You can hear me lift my fist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we watched Barbie. How's this going to go? Do we explain it or do we just assume?
Let's do a short recap and then
Good luck.
give ideas.
X, do you want to handle this?
I can probably summarize it.
Yeah, let's let
Yeah,
Jett
we know
do
you
it.
can.
Pretty straightforward.
And we'll interject when he forgets stuff. Or,
Yeah.
as Jett likes to do, just glaze over that.
Yeah, because my goal with the recaps is to give an overall impression of the film
Mhm.
so that a viewer who
More like a
hasn't seen it
vibe
can sort of
rather
see the
than-
shape of it, and then we can
Yeah.
fill in details through discussion. Because
Sure.
I'm not gonna be able to recreate the experience of watching it moment by moment, right? I'm not really gonna recreate the beat for beat experience. Anyway, we follow stereotypical Barbie as we arrive at the sort of idyllic Barbieland, a fictional location manifestation of a sort of metaphorical impression of a little girl's playscape made into a real location that somehow connects to our world through metaphor and bits. It's kind of like, imagine like the start of Toy Story 3, where it's like Andy's imagination as he's playing with the toys, but actually like animated out. You know how Toy Story 3 starts. But it's like a whole world that is that imaginary sort of playscape world, where all of the Barbies live in a matriarchal society, where Kens are a sort of not even mistreated, just barely treated underclass.
Yeah.
Of,
Partially existent.
all of the men
peoples.
are Kens, except for Alan, who is Ken's buddy, and all of the women are Barbies. There's President Barbie, who, when she appears, Lizzo, who is singing like a sort of opening number backing track throughout the whole opening number as like Barbie goes through her idyllic sort of toy
explaining her-
morning.
Yeah.
Lizzo in the background just starts saying Black Barbie president, which I found really freaking funny. But yeah, Barbies are all basically living a perfect feminine lifestyle of play and pretend and daily life. Until our protagonist, stereotypical Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, starts experiencing like human things like cellulite and not having your feet in the shape of heels and mortality, which all of the Barbies hate. So she seeks out the help of Weird Barbie, who's like, hey, you got to go to the human world, find your owner, basically, like find the little girl who is playing with you and is projecting all of this off balance, unpleasant real world stuff, and like help her out, reconcile with her so that you can become balanced again with the Barbie world because of her.
Yeah, she wants to be normal, which is not normal. Of course, Barbieland is an idyllic realm, but
it is exactly the structure of Elf. So like in Elf, Barbie leaves the North Pole and goes on a fantastical journey, which Ken, who's kind of obsessed with her, tags along for. I think he's Beach Ken. His job is Beach.
Beach Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, who sneaks into her convertible
Barbie car. Yes.
And
he's so goddamn funny in this movie.
God, I love Ryan Gosling.
He has stated how this is the best performance he's ever given.
My film buff friends were all super excited for this movie purely because of Ryan Gosling. Now, I don't think they actually understood the messaging behind the movie, but they all love this movie. I have way more Barbie merch in my apartment than you would actually think that I would, and it's mostly Ken stuff. So
I have way more dresses than you'd think, but not for Barbie. So
no, they're
we might talk about that. We'll
jet-sized dresses.
Yes, jet-sized dresses that I wear. Anyway,
So they go off to the real world.
Yeah, they go to the real world, where they encounter all kinds of real world things like patriarchy, which Ken quickly becomes obsessed with, sexism, the leering gazes of men, all kinds of imperfect real world things, including Barbie has a beautiful moment where she sees an old woman for the first time in her life, and like a genuine old woman, right? With like deep lines and the sort of marks on her face of worry and of joy of a life robustly lived. And Barbie is like stricken by this and is like, says that she's very beautiful, which I thought was like one of the most beautiful moments of a film I've ever seen. Her first time like sort of seeing age and imperfection, and the life that comes along with it. Anyway, Barbie sort of through meditation sees sort of memories of herself being played with, at which point she sort of sees this as a teenage girl named Sasha, who she's like, that's got to be my owner. So she tracks down Sasha at her high school, and Sasha's very against everything that Barbie sort of represents
she's
in
sort
the
of
real
an
world.
edgy teenager who herself is learning things about the world as a teenager does.
It's a lot of kind of surface level, sort of entry level feminism.
Yeah.
In the sort of like less nuanced, often still accurate, but less nuanced version of feminism that kind of is just like femininity is bad because it's foisted upon us. And she sees Barbie as a
sort of a mascot for those ideals.
Yeah, which has very often been the case in the real world. So immediately the movie is just like tackling the biggest questions that surround Barbie as a brand and femininity as a concept and its place in society, which is a huge theme that you see introduced in the movie and are like, there's no way they're going to be able to do justice to how complex this is.
It is a fun concept for a movie, considering that Mattel A, produced it, and B, is a major character in itself in the movie. Yeah. And is the literal bad guy of the movie.
We learn that...
Well, I mean, patriarchy is the bad guy of the movie, but Mattel is like a secondary
Mattel
antagonist.
Is like Mattel in the film is like an incompetent minion to patriarchy's conceptual villainy.
Yeah. So she finds the little girl and is desperate to connect with her, but this little girl keeps rejecting her. Meanwhile, Ken, as you glazed over there,
is like, hey, this patriarchy thing sounds awesome.
Yeah, because in the Barbieland, the Kens are secondary. Like, no one pays
they don't
attention
even have
to them. Yeah,
it's just a reflection of
yeah.
It's just a reflection of the toy line and the play pattern and how like little girls in the real world tend to treat their
Kens are
figures,
tertiary to Barbie. Like Ken cannot exist without the other.
Ken is an accessory to Barbie at the end of the day, which is beautiful.
Ken discovers that in the real world, men obviously are on top of the hierarchy. And he's so excited about this, he wants to take this information back to the other Kens in Barbieland, which is exactly what he does, while Barbie stays behind as Mattel tries to not even capture her. They're just trying to
they're like, we've got to get Barbie back into Barbieland or it's going to disrupt the sort of fabric of the real world. It's apparently happened before in some way. There's an amazing line where I kind of alluded to it at the start, where like an intern or like a secretary in the Mattel office, as they're talking about like the reality of Barbieland, is like, so is Barbieland like another dimension or is it like a metaphor? And the Mattel CEO is just like, yes.
The CEO, by the way, played by Will Ferrell
from Elf, which seems intentional.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we quickly learned that that stereotypical Barbie's actual owner is Gloria, who is Sasha's mother, who has been projecting her own sort of feminine existential crisis onto her Barbie dolls. She works at Mattel, and when Barbie is captured and has to run away, it's Gloria and Sasha who come and rescue her, and then they're like, we gotta get back to Barbieland. I forget why do they have to go back to Barbieland? Is it just to like...
Well, Mattel wants her to go back to Barbieland, and I think from Barbie kind of experiencing the real world and hating it.
She's just like, take me back.
It actually works. Yeah, and then the mother, she's going through an existential crisis of aging and not really knowing how to connect with her daughter, because her daughter is different from how she was as a little girl, where she loved Barbie and she wanted to be like a princess and feminine the way the world wanted her to be, but her daughter is kind of rejecting all those ideals now, and so she's not really sure how to connect. So they all decide to head back to Barbieland to get Barbie there, and when they get back, they discover that patriarchy has taken over.
Yeah, it describes it like pathogens that the Europeans brought to the Americas. In that, like, the Barbies have no, like, immune system defense to the concept of patriarchy.
Right.
So, which, like, basically virally takes over and immediately, like, brainwashes everyone there into, like, Ken's being, in the power roles and all the Barbies falling immediately into submissive, like, pleasant girlfriend, housemaid, cheerleader, those kinds of roles.
And we discover that that Ken now, or Beach Ken now, rules this realm in his Mojo Dojo Casa house,
which in the real world is becoming a best-selling toy by Mattel.
Right, there is a meta in this movie, like this fiction, that any choices made in Barbieland affect the Barbie dolls in the real world,
and vice versa.
Man, men, as they often do, completely miss the point of this movie. And so Mojo Dojo Casa House, everything that Ken does as the villain in the second half of this movie is just, it was completely adopted by all the guys who went and saw this movie and just kind of glazed over the idea of like I don't even know what I'm saying, man. I'm fucking half asleep right now, but...
The very important thing that the movie does is Ken, even as he sort of is in this position of power, it's quickly shown that he is not happy. Being in power has not made him feel any better, because really he
No.
just wants recognition and care and love and support, and power is he thinks is instrumental in gaining that, but really it is just a different thing that is ultimately unsatisfying.
There is the first time I watched this movie, obviously it was for Barbie. I went to go see a movie called Barbie. We're watching for Barbie. This time I really got to pay attention to Ken's character. And there is a narrative within his character that suggests that he you referred to him as the villain of the second act. I will argue and say that he was a secondary victim of...
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. He's definitely also a victim.
He also becomes a stooge of the ultimate conceptual villain of patriarchy.
Right. It shows how...
That makes everyone within it...
How easy and slippery a slope, how enticing the idea of patriarchy is. Like, everyone has a role. Everyone knows their place. It's like, it's very simple. It's very easy. The concepts are cut and dry, and in the exact same way that, like, the sort of like silly, overly optimistic femininity of the initial Barbie society is.
Yeah, like a little girl could become anything, and then obviously there's wage gaps and preferential treatment towards men and all that stuff. I think, man, me and my partner argue about this movie all the time.
Wild.
Because she really liked the movie, but her big criticism is that, Ken is obviously, he's a conduit to patriarchy finding its way into Barbieland. And he is a victim in his own right, but he also, he ushers this in. And to me, it's like, it's just kind of a commentary on how, like, little boys are also taught that they need to take a role as the leader in, like, a household and stuff like that from, like, a young age.
Yeah.
Which is something she worries about with, like, her young nephews and stuff, because her family is pretty conservative. And she's dreading the fact that they're going to teach him that he needs to treat women a certain way, and that women will have to treat him a certain way, right? And a big criticism she has of the movie is that eventually Barbie apologizes to Ken, right? In the end.
Not for... So...
No, hold on. Can I handle this for a second? You go ahead and think.
Yeah. It's layered. It's layered.
While I do see your partner's point on this,
yes.
It's also his behavior is a direct reaction to Barbie's dismissal of him, right?
Yes.
The only reason he's embracing, he actually states in the movie that he thought, oh no, what's the word? I forgot it. Patriarchy. He thought patriarchy was about horses. But the only reason he embraces patriarchy is because he finally, for the first time in his existence, has attention. He's getting attention. And
yes,
look, it's not healthy, but if you pursue that, the quickest route is going to be the one you take.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Here, let's finish the
recap.
Keep stewing on that, Jett, but let's finish the recap. So Barbie gets back to Barbieland. Ken and the other Kens have taken over with patriarchy, and there is a divide in the Kens, obviously. Barbie is for one shocked, and she wants to get things back to normal. So she has to go Barbie by Barbie and kind of turn them
incept
from because they're all like what's the word I'm looking for, subservient now to these Kens, right? They've just immediately taken on a role of caregiver for these Kens, and Barbie has to turn them. She goes to Alan, who for some reason isn't patriarchy hasn't affected him at all. She goes to Alan, and then oh my god, what was her name?
Gloria?
The mom is
Barbie.
Gloria,
or just Weird Barbie.
Oh, Weird Barbie.
Yeah, Weird Barbie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so so they go to them for help, and they go one Barbie at a time to kind of get them out of this. Oh my god, why can't I think right now? out of
get
this
them out of
like
this
hypnotized
brainwashing,
state.
essentially.
Yes.
Basically, since Barbie was in the real world, she's inoculated to the sort of the virus of patriarchy, and so they one by one deprogram the other Barbies from this fugue state, because Gloria basically goes on a tirade about the inherent contradictions of being
that
a woman
monologue
and femininity and all of the things that are expected of women that are in complete irreconcilable contrast to each other.
Meanwhile, the Kens start infighting.
Yes, because as the Barbies are getting deprogrammed, the Barbies start using their feminine wiles to turn the Kens against each other.
And so the Barbies, they develop a plan to go vote on reestablishing Barbieland as a feminine utopia. Meanwhile, the Kens are going to war with each other, and we get this great fight sequence as Ryan Gosling sings "I'm Just Ken" on the beach. And as they're fighting, they realize, where are all the women? The women vote to reestablish Barbieland, and the day is saved. This is where Barbie goes to confront Ken, and he admits that he was never into any of this. He thought patriarchy was about horses.
Yeah, and
she apologizes to him.
Actually trying it out, it's not what he thought it would be, and it's not good, and he's still lonely. And at this point, Barbie apologizes for how she treated Ken, which I think is fair, because the way the Barbies treated Ken is not good.
And when you say Ken, you're not saying a singular character. The concept of Ken, all of the Kens.
That's not, the movie does not say that that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, feminism is, and women's rights is not about making men the bad guys, right? Patriarchy is enforced and perpetuated by men, but patriarchy is a concept and a system and a structure that is separate from men themselves. Men enforce it because it is intoxicating, because it benefits us, but it is not actually what's good for us. No. It is not actually what is good for men. It does not actually give us security or safety or satisfaction or the things that humans really need, which is love and connection and fairness and justice.
God damn, I'm looking at this cast.
Pretty much,
it's so big.
In pretty much every turn, patriarchy is it's a self-defeating concept. So Barbie doesn't. Barbie is not apologizing for, like,
she's not apologizing for fighting back.
No,
like the way the Kens were treated wasn't fair, but no one knew about that because the Kens. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. They're too dumb to know any better.
Yeah,
men in the real world. Yeah,
exactly.
My favorite line in the film is when it all wraps up. There's sort of like an ending narration that says, and the Kens continued to, paraphrasing, continue to organize so that one day they would have as many rights in Barbieland as women in the real world have.
Yes.
Which is so funny to me.
Yeah, it's
because if you hear that and go, well, that's not enough, they should be equal, then you're admitting that women are not equal with men in the real world.
You've caught up to the point.
Yes, you're if you have a problem with that, you're telling on yourself.
We kind of skipped over something. The ghost of Ruth Hanover, what's her name?
Handler.
Handler.
The creator of Barbie.
The creator
the actual
of the Barbie doll.
Dead, but...
the ghost of her is in the movie.
Yes.
Played by Rhea Perlman.
Okay.
She's married to Danny DeVito. Anyway. I don't want to recognize a woman to who she's married to, but like that's just she was in Matilda. I think she was also in Cheers. Anyway, the ghost of Ruth pulls Barbie aside and is like, "Hey, let's get out of here. You're much more than what you present yourself to be. Oh, Barbie's having these existential things because she's not a doctor. She's not a scientist. She's not a writer. She's not a politician. She's not a leader. She's the stereotypical Barbie, and she feels bad that means nothing. And Ruth is there to pull her aside and say, hey, we're in this kind of dreamy scape of white, and, you know, you don't have to be Barbie is the thing. You don't have to be stereotypical. You can make your own decisions. And Barbie I guess, asks for permission to live as a real person. And she's not really granted permission because Ruth is essentially saying that, you know,
you can if you want to be.
Right.
Any moment, as soon as you want to be. But that will come with suffering.
All of the
and
consequences
pain.
of being a human.
And sadness and heartbreak and everything. And Barbie says yes.
And then cut to.
And then she is. Cut to her in the real world, going by the name Barbara Handler, living with Gloria and Sasha.
And Gloria's husband.
Yes, which
who's
is his
learning
name.
Spanish. He's doing his best.
Even less of a character in the real world than Ken was in Barbieland.
He's
just there. Yeah.
In a final sort of review, you sort of think that she's going to like a job interview
Like a
or
job
something
interview
like
or
that.
something like that. She has a very important day ahead of her.
In a final bit that is as sort of comes across as almost crass on the surface, but I think is actually wildly thematically meaningful on many levels, as well as sort of playing with one of the running like jokes with Barbie dolls in general. Which is that she has been dropped off at her first gynecologist appointment.
Which, like you said, Jett has several like underlining
many
meanings,
layers,
right? Yeah,
it's a joke for everyone, really.
Yeah,
even children.
Okay, so that's essentially the movie. There's way more to it. I recommend everybody go see Barbie.
Yes,
the whole time they're being pursued by the Mattel Corporation, who are like stooges and are running this company and being like, yes, we're doing this for little girls, but it is all men.
Which is fun because it's all men. There's not a single woman in this in the Mattel board. Okay, so that's essentially the first movie. Now, this is an issue with doing this movie, especially for this podcast, is there's so much to go into. There's so much to debate. There's so much that you could talk about with this movie.
Yeah.
What the hell are we going to do for a sequel? Because
I have ideas.
This movie has so many themes, so much commentary on the real world and what it means to be like a little girl and grow up and all that stuff, but also what it means because it was written by Greta Gerwig and her husband.
Right.
So there's plenty of stuff in there about being a little boy and what it means to grow up in society. Well, at least in our society here in America and probably a lot of Europe too.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we're going to ignore all that.
Men. It's not mean about men, just patriarchy.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how layered it manages to be.
Yeah. Patriarchy is a toxic idea for both sexes.
But now, notably, mainly for women, especially for women, but
it is a toxic idea to as men to grow up with, right? And now
the movie, it reminds me
Roger.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, me and Roger didn't grow up with like permanent male figures in our lives, right?
No.
Like so we were mostly raised by women. So I think we have a weird kind of, I'm not going to say edge, but like we didn't necessarily grow up with the idea that like men are in charge. And like when you grow up, you have to take on this role because we didn't have someone in our lives with that role. Right.
Right.
But I know plenty of people who grew up that way.
I sure did.
And I know plenty of people who
now I wear dresses on Sundays.
And I know plenty of people who have that like toxic ideal in their head. Like me personally, I don't want to have kids. And every time I say that to someone, especially a young dude, they'll always be like, well, no, man, you need to have like a legacy. And I'm like, well, I can still have like a legacy through the things that I do in my own life. I don't have to like subject a woman to motherhood to feel like accomplished in my life, you know? Little things like that kind of... This movie just makes you think, right? It makes you think
it's so good.
In several
it's
different
such a
ways.
Good freaking movie.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't want to kind of like stay in this idea of like what this movie means. Let's just try to come up with a sequel and get through the episode.
I was talking to Gabriella about it, and she was like, "Well, you got to do one where there's like other worlds with like other toys in it."
Which is what
you got to be careful
Hollywood
though.
wants to do.
Yeah, it was really funny because her she wanted like, okay, well, what if a bunch of GI Joes end up in the real world?
Ooh,
and
this is also a thought that I had.
Yeah, and encounter like what actual war is like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know, the real American heroes have to come to terms with the atrocities that America committed towards the end of World War II.
So what
the G.I. Joes come to the real world and they watch Oppenheimer.
Okay, yeah. So I like the idea of like G.I. Joes who did have a show where they never went to war.
Right.
But essentially kind of like taught children how to quote unquote survive in the real world, how to get along and stuff like that.
What are you talking about?
G.I. Joes...
No, hang on. What are you talking about?
Like those weird PSAs that G.I. Joe used to do.
Do you
hey,
think that was the whole show?
No, I don't. I'm just giving the kind of zeitgeist overall knowledge.
True, that is the most
concept.
lasting legacy element of that cartoon.
The most lasting element of that cartoon was the toys that it spawned. It did exactly what it was trying to do, and that was sell.
The funny thing is, as well, is that show was all about fighting the Cobra terrorists, which was like a funny, like fictional and sort of thing at the time. But then it laid the groundwork for like the war in Iraq, like all of that stuff.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like
and so on.
In that show, they fought like a fictional like organization that was like a stereotype for evil, whereas they never actually went and fought like an ally. Like they didn't fight another world superpower like Germany, right? Like people who had different ideals from them.
It was just kind of a loose, vague cabal of bad guys.
Yes. But I like the idea that G.I. Joe comes from this world of like make-believe where little boys are like, yeah, I want to be the hero. But then they come into America today where ICE is literally arresting just anybody and like kicking them out of the country. And they're like, oh, well, that's not really what we were going for.
The overall message is G.I. Joe learning the difference between black and white and like shades of gray. Like what is actually bad when everyone believes that they're the good guy.
Yeah. The tricky thing is like thinking about this is that the movie already goes so much into the idea of like masculinity as it even like has like a faux war scene, you know, between the Kens. Like it's hard to tread new ground with that. I also wonder, like, is it like sort of like disrespectful in a weird way to take this, you know, wonderful exploration of femininity and be like, and now the sequel's about boys.
But it's
now
fake.
It's about
Here's the
boys.
thing. We can do whatever we want, even if it could be as crass as we want it to be, because it's not going to happen.
I like the idea of the G.I. Joes, not in terms of like masculinity. Now, when I was a little kid, I used to play with both G.I. Joes and Barbies. I didn't care.
That's
like
beautiful.
I was just hanging out with my cousins.
All of my toys
one of my
belonged
cousins
to
was
my
a little
cousins.
girl. Yeah, one of my cousins was a little girl. The other one was a little boy. So like we just played with whatever we had. I don't think if we went the G.I. Joe route, I don't think it would be a... God damn it. Going too deep into this. But I don't think it would be about masculinity. I think it would be about how we treat each other in society and what we think is a threat to our way of life and what it just means to be a human being and exist, right?
The tricky thing about that is like it sort of gets into the you can't make a movie that's about war in any way without it being pro-war in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only way to do it is to and there's only been maybe a couple movies that pull this off, that
and that's what I'm
managed
saying.
to show the horrors of it to such a level of finesse that it breaks out of the trappings of it.
Or it just gets to the point where it's so dated, a la Paths of Glory. It's a good anti-war movie for its time, but you watch it now and it's a little antiquated, right? You're kind of like, well, there's a lot more to why war is bad as opposed to just like it being over people's egos and stuff. I don't think if we went the G.I. Joe route, it would be about war. I think it would just be about how we treat each other as human beings, right?
Yeah.
Or if it was
That's a
about
neat
war,
idea.
it's G.I. Joe going through conversations of, all right, well, who's the bad guy? And they explain, they're like, well, why are they the bad guy? And then even when we go into it, it's like, oh, well, they're just reacting off of what we've done to them. So
that's good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be about like the military industrial complex or whatever. It would be about how we've militarized our police, right, in the US and how it's a bad thing that we give a small group of people so much power over society who are technically their boss. Like our taxes go to paying them. They should be serving us, but instead they serve the rich and the state. And it's not how the world should work. And the G.I. Joes would come in here and I think they would just go through different law enforcement agencies like ICE, like a small sheriff's
trying
office.
to find a place.
Yeah, trying to find a place that serves their ideals, right? Like what they think,
What they think truth and justice in the American way actually is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so they'd go through the FBI and the CIA. They'd be like, "Holy shit, what the fuck is going on?"
what do people know about this?
They're just giving homeless people drugs all the time.
Yeah.
The other problem that I encountered with this idea is that Mattel doesn't own G.I. Joe.
No.
So they wouldn't actually be able to make that sequel.
You know who they do own?
But it would just
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, baby.
You want to talk about masculinity, baby? This is it.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
Like
God.
it could be like we can like lampoon like the Fast and the Furious stuff.
Yes.
In some way.
No, okay. If
And we do have to get Barbie in there somewhere.
Yes,
Like she
yeah,
does
that's
have
exactly
to
what I
be
was
part of
gonna
it.
Yeah. So maybe Barbie and Ken. Does Ken have to be involved? Everybody wants Ryan Gosling back. So yeah,
Probably,
Barbie and
yes.
Ken will probably explore different worlds. And
Yeah,
kind of.
Okay,
I
like
would think so.
if Barbieland exists, there's
Yeah.
got to be like a racetrack land.
Now I did have like a really good like idea for like a Hot Wheels movie that I don't remember.
It sounds great.
Yeah, I knew you'd like it.
My last pitch would just be the court cases where Ruth Handler has to go through all of her tax problems.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Barbie in the real world, she can't. Money is so confusing for everybody, not just women. But she has to figure. The IRS takes her to court into court drama.
Barbie
She
learns
has to-
about credit scores.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mattel just doesn't have a Uno.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff we can make with Uno.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, I think that's a license thing. I don't think they own that.
Yeah, like most of it is like WWE.
Like they own American Girl dolls. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is Sequel Factory. We don't have to necessarily do Mattel. We could cross over G.I. Joe and Barbie.
I mean,
we can do whatever the fuck we want.
The sequel could be about Alan because he stated multiple times that he wanted to get out of Barbieland.
That's true. Okay. We got to bring Barbie back into it somehow, right? But maybe Alan still isn't content even as the Kens get more rights because he's still just Ken's buddy.
What if?
So maybe he makes his way into the G.I. Joe world.
Because he can fight.
yeah.
He proved in the movie that he has a lot of combat
That's true.
prowess.
So he goes into the Joe world and joins the Joes.
Could be a commentary on Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
There. Well, yes.
Well,
If we base the movie
yeah.
somewhere between the 90s and 2010, yes, we could probably make that work.
Well, hey, I mean, Trump did kind of just push us backwards in that realm, so it could just be a current day issue too.
Barbie 2,
Yeah.
Alan kills the president.
Oh my
no.
Because if we're going off of characters, and I'm saying this 54 minutes into the podcast, if we're going after characters that exist within the movie already, we're having to choose the CEO, Weird Barbie, Alan, or literally that's it.
Okay. Here. I have an idea of how to connect Barbieland and the GI Joes. Maybe Mattel is trying to acquire GI Joe, right? They're trying to acquire the rights to GI Joe.
Okay.
Hasbro does hate selling toys.
Hey, Jett, shut up.
Well, hold on, wait. What if the licensing is explicitly for movies? Because the past 8 GI Joe films have not been good.
Yeah, and the one Mattel movie has made a shit ton of money, so Mattel is trying to get in on that G.I. Joe money.
I think you think I was joking. Hasbro
I don't think you're joking.
hates selling toys.
I know this is your realm of expertise, but shut up.
Okay, you go.
Yeah, talk about it on your show.
No, okay, so I'm looking at this from a perspective of movies. Like the G.I. Joe movies, not good. The one Mattel Barbie movie, amazing.
Amazing.
And so Mattel is like, we did better. I mean, I'm sure the G.I. Joe movies made a lot of money. They keep making them. But Barbie made like $1 billion. So they're like, hey, we kind of want in on this, but we need to own the rights to it. So as they're like trying to attain G.I. Joe from Hasbro, the worlds kind of just start to collide. Like they don't even know why, And
yeah,
that's not bad.
That's good.
So because of an asset merger that's happening between these two companies, Barbieland is experiencing these brand new characters that are just as confused as to why they're there.
Yeah.
And they're going around like turning off faucets because it's wasting water and like showing people how to make
PSA
tourniquets
stuff.
And yeah,
they're like teaching the Barbies how to recycle. The more you know. Because knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
I will freeze all of Barbieland, and no one will know to turn their taps to dripping.
Ooh, and then the main conflict within Barbieland and the G.I. Joe world is that they don't think they can coexist, right? And so they travel to the real world to figure out why the heck their worlds are colliding. This is when they discover that these two corporate entities are like trying to figure out this acquisition. And then this is when the G.I. Joes kind of discover, the same way Ken discovered patriarchy, the G.I. Joes start to discover the militarized law enforcement.
The horrors of the atrocities that America committed towards the tail end of World War II.
Yeah, that's where it starts, and then they see how it's progressed with the creation of the FBI and the CIA, and how the Border Patrol kind of progressed law enforcement into this militarization against its own people, right?
I've got more layers to this. When the G.I. Joes end up in Barbieland, I think we play with the pathogen idea.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as like a lot of the G.I. Joes end up in Barbieland, like gradually, like many of the Joes just start getting like force femmed by the like entrancing sort of.
Oh yeah, they've never seen like an effeminate woman, right? So
no, they've never seen Pink. So a lot of them start like, probably Cobra Commander's the first to go. Are you kidding me? That is the fruitiest villain in the world. So Cobra Commander goes full pink. He's got his cape. And the Joes see all of this. And they're like, oh God, what do we do? Before long, we're all gonna fall to this. And that's when Alan comes in as like, I know of one way, but you can't save yourselves here. There's a place you can go. Place from this world, or one person from this world has escaped. And I can take you to her. And she might be able to show you how to shield yourself from this. and then you can come back here and you know, get your guys out of it and take them back to your world. So Alan takes the Joes into the real world to go find Barbara Handler, real world Barbie.
So in the way that Barbie has to travel into the real world in the Barbie movie, you know, she has to go through the different realms, and you see it is the great montage of them in the convertible and the boat and the spaceship.
Jet skis.
Ken is just kind of like in the background.
Through
what would
the
the
fields
GI
of
Joes have to
swirly
go
gumdrops
through?
and whatnot.
Yeah, what would the GI Joes have to go through?
Crawl on your belly through 3 miles of barbed wire.
Yeah, probably.
Through the foxholes of a war-torn third world country.
Through the trenches of World War One. They literally, you just see. It's like the progression of war since
the late
turn of the
1800s.
20th century.
Like it starts with them just like charging through like a battlefield with a bunch of like red and blue lasers firing everywhere. Until you know, then they're down in the you know, the trenches, and then and
then they emerge in the real world. The way Barbie and Ken emerged, like on I think it's Santa Monica, right? They're
but
like
they come onto the beach, and we do a pastiche of the opening of Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, yeah, like
but
they're
just
landing on
like
Normandy.
They're just like getting hit by like beach umbrellas and towels and like kids with squirt guns, and they're like screaming and falling, and because they can't separate the sort of.
And then they get arrested because they're causing a scene in a public space, and then that's how they kind of discover the fucked up nature of law enforcement in the real world.
Yeah, one of the GI Joes that's Hispanic gets immediately deported.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. And that's okay. So they get separated, right? And that's how they discover the different agencies and their own atrocities and stuff. Now, what would the Hasbro CEOs or executives look like in the real world if we're fictionalizing them to kind of mirror
about the
well,
Hasbro CEOs.
If all of Mattel was like a band of bumbling boobs, Hasbro could be.
So here's the thing that you would want to parody. Hasbro is an incredibly liberal company, in a very ineffectual and hypocritical way, because they do make Nerf and GI Joe and Transformers, but they lean towards some would say virtue signaling. I don't know what's well intentioned and what's just a sort of ploy to try to keep a good brand image. I don't know.
Okay, so that's
they try
good
to be
because...
woke, but they do still keep making war toys.
So that's good because in the Barbie movie, the Mattel executives are kind of, it's just a bunch of men, right? Who don't necessarily understand little girls, but they think that because they make this product that they do. So it could just be, like you said, like a liberal board of it could literally just be hippies, right?
Yeah, I would
make these.
Yeah, they would be. I think the best sort of thing that you can sort of lampoon with them is the ineffectual modern Democratic Party that sort of fronts as if they believe a whole lot of stuff but don't do anything.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
So they find at least
that's a complex issue that we can tackle very well if we hire Noah Baumbach and frickin' Greta Gerwig to script it.
Greta Gerwig, yeah. So okay, Alan and at least one of the GI Joes finds Barbara, right? And and she's like, okay, well, I don't know who makes G.I. Joe, but I could take you to Mattel, who might know what's going on. And that's where they discover the acquisition process.
Yeah, because Gloria still works for Mattel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Gloria's like, oh, well, it could have something to do with the I'm not going to say merger, because well, maybe the companies are merging. Maybe they're trying to form a monopoly, and we can go into that, too.
Yeah.
Oh, the harm of monopolies. Maybe. Yes.
Hasbro does also make Monopoly.
Holy shit.
So they end up. What if, like, as they are like sort of like trying to solve the problem, they end up kind of the world, the toy world and the real world is colliding as more and more sort of properties end up like escaping into the real world to try to find the like unity again. So they end up kind of like falling between different realms, so they end up in the Monopoly world, and they end up in like the Transformers world, and they end up in the Uno world. They end up in the Uno world, which is like just like a hardcore like Casino Royale style like intense.
I think you meant Battle Royale. But
there's poker in Casino Royale.
Well, in the 2006
two
version,
comparable games.
Yeah.
Or it could be that the Hasbro and Mattel are trying to merge. They're not just trying to acquire G.I. Joe. They're just trying to merge so that they can have G.I. Joe. So what if Barbieland is just starting to be infested with all these other properties? They're
Hot
just
Wheels
kind of
cars
popping
are
up.
just crashing through everything.
Yeah. All this stuff is just starting to pop up everywhere, and it's really disrupting their way of life. And so they're just kind of desperate for Alan and these G.I. Joes in the real world to figure this out.
Make
so
everything right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. How would it resolve?
How indeed.
So they get to the executives and they're like, oh, so this is what's going on, but you guys don't realize how it's affecting our world.
We've come up with a metaphor for all of the world's problems. Now let's solve it.
Right. I mean, we could just take a pick of the things we want to teach a lesson on, and at the very end of the movie, one of the G.I. Joes turns toward the camera, and he's like, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, social democracy.
We've gone into the injustices of militarizing our law enforcement, of not policing monopolies, of just a bunch of different stuff, right? We're getting into a lot of territories here.
I think at the core of all of these problems is a lack of love. You know, it is the failure to connect, the failure to empathize.
Yeah, it's a lack of empathy, right?
Yeah, lack of empathy, which would, solve war. Empathy would turn Uno games happier so that everyone's trying to have a good time rather than destroy each other emotionally. Empathy would make all of the road ragers driving the Hot Wheels cars think twice about whether or not they're going to judge that other Hot Wheels car from cutting them off in the parking lot.
What if Uno is used as an allegory at the end of the movie for no matter how good you are, like if you cheat everyone else out of their own money and their own resources, you end up alone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So maybe the solution here is that they elect a representative who passes a bill, right? Passes a bill making the monopoly between Hasbro and Mattel illegal. And so these entities have to stay separate. And then the toy worlds kind of...
Maybe it's that the toy worlds all have elections within their various things and elect a representative for each that will go to live in the real world and act as an ambassador between
representatives.
Real world and their various toy worlds. Yeah, representative democracy.
Yeah, it'll be like that person from Puerto Rico who gets to sit in Congress and kind of, watch and give like advice, but doesn't actually get to vote. Yeah. I like that. I like the idea that they're
that's
like
pretty good. Yeah, so Barbara would probably become that representative for Barbieland.
For Barbieland, yeah.
In a way that like you can go your own way, but like so Barbie. I'll say this about Barbie: is it was primarily an exploration of individualism, right? Which is a step out of a feudalist system, right? Individualism is a good step towards things, right? It's personal freedom, it's self-actualization. Once you have secured a good bit of individualism and people have their own rights, right, and their own liberties and the freedom to pursue them, then you have to create systems to ensure that people get along and cooperate, right? Once you are affirmed as individuals, then you have to affirm yourself as a society.
Yeah, exactly. So this movie
So
would
that's
be about...
that's what Barbara would probably learn is like, I can be myself, but I do still have a responsibility for, you know, the people around me. I have a responsibility to cooperate. Because
Right.
you know, probably she would be very hesitant to get involved at all, right? Because she would be like, I'm in the
I
real
left that
world
world
now.
behind.
I left
Yeah.
that world behind. I'm not coming, you know, I'm not going back. I don't have a responsibility to Barbieland anymore. But you do, because you do have a responsibility to the society that has enabled you to be your best self. And you have a responsibility to maintain that society so that people after you can be themselves.
Yeah, and it doesn't fall into fascism and and yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing is sort of with the democracy angle, and with the sort of like, you know, elected representatives who can cooperate with each other and advocate for their own people. You can avoid people having to fight for their rights, because if we all work together, we can secure rights for each other at once. So that speaks back to the G.I. Joe war theme.
Mm-hmm. And maybe just like in the first movie where the Kens go to war with each other, as this is all resolving in the real world, as they're starting to figure out what they need to do. Meanwhile, in Barbieland, all these different factions of all these different properties are fighting. They're literally at war with each other.
Oh, and it's getting all confused. It's all getting mixed up. Like like the Hot Wheels cars all are getting those little eyelashes people put on their headlights.
Yeah,
That is confusing.
Yeah.
No, but I like that. So they come to the realization.
Oh,
that,
He-Man's there.
Masters of the universe.
We can have a Skeletor.
Ooh, Skeletor and
Cobra Commander.
are doing each
Cobra
other's
Commander.
nails.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They become a couple. They become a power couple.
Yeah, what if all of the villain characters, because they in their worlds are so like flat and monotone and like lacking in depth, it's actually all of the villain characters that fall the easiest to the sort of the woke mind virus of the different like lands. So they just immediately, as soon as they're in Barbie land, they're just like, oh, an easy path towards happiness. Bet.
Okay.
Showing
I'm
that most evil stems from selfishness and convenience, rather than
like
an
a mindset
actual
of...
like internal drive towards some kind of, you know, dark urge within. Like that most evil is just people taking the path that's easy and not caring who they hurt on the way, but caring about each other as much as possible is the way out of that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I think we essentially have a movie. It ends with all these.
Once Greta gets her hands on this, it's all downhill. We like
look. The thing
easy.
is, if this doesn't seem like a completely cohesive A to B plot, I'm sure the Barbie movie didn't start this way either. You can only make a movie like this if you dive deep into what it means, right? And get your themes locked down, and then figure out exactly what plot beats you need to tell to convey that.
Makes sense, yeah.
I think this is actually the best way to do justice to how truly thought out and emotionally mature the Barbie movie is to be like, okay, well, what is actually the next step after self-actualization and being who you want to be, is fighting for
creating a world where
world.
everyone else can, where everyone can be happy, hopefully, and then war just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, there we go.
Because I think like all of the fighting between the different toy worlds, and the consolidation of power that the toy companies are trying to do, and they're like allowing the different toy worlds to fight as they consolidate power, and it's the culture war, right? It's the fake war that is being foisted upon the working class so that we infight with each other as power is consolidated above us.
Jett.
Yeah, Roger, do you have something to contribute?
You're saying a lot of words here. It does actually bring up something else. What if all of the other toys, these like, the Transformers and G.I. Joe and Masters of the Universe, what if they see Barbieland and they now resent their creators because they're not bad, they're just written that way?
Right, like they were plunged into worlds of conflict and
exclusively
violence.
Conflict.
Whereas Barbies get to live in, peace and prosperity. And then there's Hot Wheels, which is just like, we're cars! Yeah. Brum, brum, brum.
The Hot Wheels agree with us. Thanks, Twin Mill. Cobra!
The Monopoly guys just buying up all the properties in Barbieland.
The Transformers are trying to talk to the Hot Wheels, and
he becomes.
Oh no! The Monopoly man is bringing capitalism to Barbieland.
He's bringing capitalism to Barbieland, and then the cost of living goes way up in there.
And they're like, we don't even know what rent is.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said. In this follow-up movie.
Yeah, we'll just kind of do all of that.
Oh boy.
We'll just kind of put all that in there and do justice to it in a way that's a satisfying narrative.
Yeah, we're not gonna pick one thing to comment on. It's gonna be everything.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what the Barbie movie does, though. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Except at the end of ours, only one thing gets fixed, and like that can allude to more and more sequels.
Okay, yeah. So at the end they get proper representation, which could lead to the improvement of the rest of the stuff that got fucked up during the movie.
Yeah, right. I think what I like about it is it's like there's no way to snap our fingers and solve this, but we can start building systems that will allow us to incrementally improve, and that will allow the people to choose what they actually want, how they want their society to look, and work together to accomplish that.
Exactly. And I think with that, we've done it. We're running a little long.
Yes.
So
if anyone other than X had to edit this podcast, I think it would be a bigger deal. But dear listeners,
that's so mean.
Dear listeners, let's hope that this is the sequel that wins us our freedom.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Before we finish, we have to pick another movie.
Oh shit!
It is my turn.
We didn't even name this one.
So, we also didn't pick a subject for a different movie to come out at the same time that would hype up moviegoers to go. Okay, so this one's going to focus on kind of just like all the injustices in the world. So the other movie has to be
MK
about...
Ultra.
Hey, yeah, the Bluebird Project and MK Ultra.
Yep,
okay.
a deep dive exploration into
but
CIA's mind control experiments.
Drug-induced mind control experiments.
Sure, screw it. Okay, and then we'll just call it Barbie 2. Fuck. Jett, this is your realm of expertise. Give us a G.I. Joe reference, like a deep cut.
Just call the movie Real American Barbie, because Real American Hero is the subtitle of G.I.
Yeah,
Joe.
no, we got it.
Yeah. Real American Barbie. Great. Cool. Barbie 2, Real American Barbie. We did it. Okay, so the next movie. We are going to do the Christmas movie next, the next time we record. But I'm just going to cut that in because it's going to come up before this Barbie movie, so I'm not even going to leave this in the edit. So the next movie, I think, I've been on a real Tom Cruise kick.
Oh boy.
So
interesting.
I was
Short Jack Reacher? Can we do Short Jack Reacher?
Jack Reacher already has a sequel, so we can't. But I've been trying to think of a movie that we could do. I thought about Collateral, and I was like, and he dies at the end of that movie, so I don't know what the heck we'd do. I was thinking of Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Edge of Tomorrow, but he dies too much in that movie. I don't know.
He does die a lot. I also hate he loses that power at the end of it.
I hate the fact that people call that movie Live, Die, Repeat.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do Edge of Tomorrow. Instead, I think we should do a movie I haven't seen in a really long time, and I really hope holds up. Minority Report.
Hell yeah! I'm so for this. Oh my god,
yeah,
yes.
All right. Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, next time we'll be doing Minority Report.
Get ready for Majority Report. Next time on Sequel Factory.
The subversion of expectation on this show is strong, and it's mostly from Jett. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. If it doesn't win us our freedom, then expect to hear another episode eventually. Let's see. This is the show. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode where three guys go into a lot of social commentary, I guess, you can check us out on some other things.
I'm sorry I've done this to your podcast.
No, it's fine.
It's your podcast too, Jett.
Yeah.
You can
when
do
we
whatever
changed
you
to
want.
the show, you became a co-host.
You knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, you can check us out on some few other things. Roger and I do another podcast called Pair O Normal Dudes, where we read spooky-ish stories from Reddit. You can also catch Jett on his YouTube channel.
Yep, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jett Kuso, where I have never worn a dress, and that might give you some misconceptions of me.
Yeah, and he... I love that's your niche, and that
Right.
that your audience is into it. So
They don't know nothing.
I was gonna say it is kind of a Batman to Jett's home life. Like,
yeah,
Jett on the sidelines is presenting as Bruce Wayne who plays with a bunch of toys, and then moonlights as all we really know is wears dresses.
Needless to say, I got a lot of themes from this movie that I didn't talk about here.
You can also do us a favor and give us a rating, leave a review or a comment, and
5 stars, or if it's a 3-star system, 3 stars.
Or if it's a 10-star system, 10 stars.
honestly, you could leave us 1 star, and then we'll hunt you down and ask you to please change it to 5 or 3 stars, whatever the system is. Okay.
At gunpoint!
At gunpoint. At Nerf gunpoint, yes.
But I've modified it to kill you.
Oh my god, X, end the show.
Yeah. You can catch us next time on Sequel Factory for part 2.
The sequel!
Continued.